Hello, this is Amy Rice in my ADHD presentation for educating exceptional students. What are the populations being served with ADHD? How many children currently have or have been diagnosed and receiving services for ADHD? The American Psychiatric Association says that 5% of all American children have ADHD, while the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention put that estimate at closer to 10%. As far as ethnic groups goes, children in minority ethnic groups frequently are underdiagnosed and underserved. Those numbers, of the whole group of kids, 7.4% are African American children and 5.1% are Hispanic children. Why are these numbers increasing over time? Why are there more students diagnosed with ADHD now than there were previously? Diagnostic tools and methods for diagnosing and assessing ADHD have changed over time, and that is a significant or likely reason why we have more students being diagnosed with ADHD, because we're better able to diagnose it and then strive to meet the needs of those individual children. Behavior characteristics of students with ADHD. Behavior characteristics vary greatly from child to child, but a few overriding general characteristics include inattention, hyperactivity, impulsivity, self-focused behavior, interrupting, emotional turmoil, impatience, and, for example, have difficult time waiting their turn, difficulty playing quietly, and lack of ability to finish tasks, to simply follow through with the task that they have been given. What is the academic effect of ADHD behaviors on students in the classroom? Some of the effects that ADHD has on students include they have a difficult time controlling their bodies. They have to be physically moving all the time, whether it's constantly going to the restroom or constantly going to get a drink at the water fountain, getting up and walking around when they need to be staying in their seat, those kinds of things. They have a difficult time being present during the academic instruction, which kind of goes hand in hand with the controlling their behaviors. They have a difficult time paying attention and being focused on what is happening in the classroom. And because of that, another thing is they can miss critical instruction time, and that plays into a lot of other things as well. They also have a difficult time filtering out environmental distractions. If someone is tapping their pencil, or the clock is ticking really loudly, or just little things like that, those can easily distract them and keep them from keeping on focus. They often understand the content, but they have a difficult time demonstrating that they know the content. ADHD across the board. Just as every individual student is different, every individual student with ADHD is different as well. No two students are going to be exactly like. Students with ADHD are one student who can really struggle in one particular area, that student has ADHD. Another student with ADHD also can really excel in that area. So there's no cookie cutter classic ADHD kid. They're all individual and all have their own strengths and their own needs as well. Where does IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, come in? Under what section of IDEA is ADHD classified? ADHD is classified under other health impaired, and under that classification. What are some effective class-wide interventions that you can use to help students with ADHD be more successful in your classroom? Some things include the way that you give directions. Give a minimum number of directions at one time. Have the students verbally repeat the instructions back to you. You can also provide written instructions. That way they have a visual model that they can go through, and then if they get lost or they get confused, you can repeatedly tell them, well, go back and look at your instructions, and that will help them to kind of something visual that will keep them kind of on task and focused. Another way to help students is to deconstruct their tasks, limit the amount of work that they need to do on any type of worksheet, one page. You can, if there's lots of problems on like a math page, take an extra piece of paper and cover up half of it so they can only see like the top half or the bottom half, and it won't be so visually intimidating to them. It gives them less to focus on, so they can focus more on the problems that are in front of them. Another thing you can do is allow extra time to complete assignments, and then you can also provide work breaks. You can do lots of really fun things in that type of intervention. You can get up and do stretches. You can get up and, depending on the age of your class, you can do a little dance or get the little wiggles or those kinds of things. Or for older kids, you can send them on a task. You can have them take a note to the office or take a book back to the library, or just something that will break up the monotony and help them kind of get a break. Another option would be to simply reduce the length of written assignments. ADHD students generally have a really hard time with writing. It's a really time-consuming, focus-consuming task. And so if you reduce the length of written assignments, that will help them kind of be able to complete that task in a more timely manner. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I hope you have a good day.